Today we take a look at two of the best rangefinders in disc golf, the Bushnell Edge rangefinder and the new MVP Parsec. This is local. We are local. Having completed this review, you'll see that these are quite different, and spoiler alert, there's no clear winner. It will come down to what you value more. We'll have time codes down in the description, but this is one of those comparisons that I think you'll actually benefit from seeing the whole thing. Let's get started. Before this review, I had never actually used a rangefinder, but ironically, I've spent some time with a bunch of alternatives, including the Bushnell disc jockey, as well as UDisc on a Garmin watch. A steady hand is key, as correctly pointing at your target is essential for these to be useful. So with that said, which offers the better viewing experience? View definitely goes to the Edge. It's a bigger window to look through and seemed brighter, and because of that, both of us noticed that the Parsec was especially difficult with glasses or sunglasses on. It took me a good 10 minutes to get the Parsec lined up with my camera lens when filming, and that was with tripods. The Edge, I filmed both handheld in minutes, so it's definitely the one to use if glasses or sunglasses are an essential part of your game. The button on the Edge is easier to press. Seriously, with a device that you need to hold steady, the press is kind of an important part. I wouldn't say the Parsec was unusable, but with the view and the button going to the Edge, it's not looking good for the Parsec so far. Both the Edge and the Parsec give you measurement in feet and meters, while the Parsec also gives you yards as an option. Although I wouldn't give this one to the Parsec. I've never really needed yards while on a disc golf course. But I guess if you're wanting to use it for ball golf as well, it gives you a little additional versatility. You get a rechargeable battery that charges by USB, which is included on the Parsec, versus a non-rechargeable CR2 3-volt lithium battery, which Bushnell recommends you change once a year in the Edge rangefinder. With it being a unique battery in the Edge, it does require some planning, but anytime you have a rechargeable battery, that also requires some planning. But at least you're not paying for batteries for the Parsec. Price is a funny one, as in my research, the Parsec was more expensive in the United States by about $25, whereas in Canada, the Parsec was about $5 cheaper in my comparisons. The Parsec includes a nice little case with a carabiner and even a belt loop, which is a great bonus for keeping the lenses safe and clean. The Edge does not include one of these. What I also loved about this was not only does it zip open, but there's actually a strap across here that prevents it from opening wider than it needs to. So you're never going to open this where it falls open and it falls out and gets damaged. It's always a safe distance apart there. The other piece is you've got this expandable little string here that will come around, holding it safely closed so that if you need it mid-round, you can pull that open real quick and have really quick access to the rangefinder. And with this being so hard, I would absolutely trust this case to keep my rangefinder safe. As I mentioned, the Edge does not have one. I'm sure you can find something on Amazon, but that would be extra. I prefer the feel of the Parsec in hand, as it's slightly smaller and it just feels a bit more premium with slightly more weight to it and a more rubberized grip. It seems to fit my hand better as well. While the Edge is lighter, which is its own bonus, but it's completely made of plastic except for the rubberized button. Another nice feature of the Parsec is it actually has a 1/4-20 thread on the bottom, meaning you can connect this to a tripod, which might be cool for modes like the speed mode and for calibrating. And speaking of modes, let's talk modes. The Edge rangefinder just has one mode, where the Parsec offers a ton of modes. I think most of the time you'll probably stick to one or two of these modes, but it is nice that you have a variety to choose from. The modes include straight line distance mode, vertical distance mode, horizontal distance mode, speed mode, 2-point height measurement mode, closest distance measurement mode, farthest distance measurement mode, golf distance compensation mode, and a storage function where 20 sets of measurements can be stored. Now, these are a lot for the average disc golfer, so I reached out to MVP and they told me that they just tried to provide as many features as possible in this rangefinder. I specifically asked about speed mode as I wanted to know if that was in there for measuring the speed of a disc in flight, because I couldn't imagine trying to pinpoint a disc in flight given that the view seems smaller and slightly darker than the Edge rangefinder. They acknowledged that it could be quite difficult to pick a disc in mid-flight, but that in order to be able to use that feature consistently, it may require an update down the road. The manual they include, for being honest, it isn't the best or the most detailed, so be sure to subscribe as I'll be posting more tutorials showing more about these modes in action, and be sure to comment with your questions as I am chatting with MVP about these modes and I can certainly get the answers you're looking for. If you've never used a rangefinder before, having access to precise information is pretty great. When I use my UDisc app, it's fairly accurate, but if baskets or tee pads have been moved or changed on a course, then you are at the mercy of the data that's been entered for that course, which, if you're trying to up your game, won't only be frustrating, it'll also be confusing. The Edge is pretty simple to use. The button is easy to press, which meant determining the distance to the basket was pretty repeatable. It will tell you incline or decline in degrees, so you can attempt to adjust for that distance. You can also hold down the button for it to constantly scan and provide you with real-time distance and data as you tilt and pan to get an accurate measurement to the basket or target. The Parsec, on the other hand, offers a ton of additional features, including holding down the button for that same real-time distance and data, as well as in golf compensation mode, if you hold down the button from the slope beyond the basket and come to the target or basket, you'll actually get haptic feedback, meaning it'll literally vibrate so you know you've gotten the measurement to the basket. The other piece of data that I found interesting with the Parsec is it not only tells you the incline or decline, but it also calculates an adjusted distance when taking into account that incline or decline. This is something that the Edge doesn't do. Both of these are going to provide you with distance to the pin with great accuracy. If you're into a simple setup that's lightweight and really easy to use, then I think the Edge is definitely it. If you think you'll find the additional features useful, then the MVP Parsec definitely is worth considering. If you have any questions about these, please leave them in the comments. Be sure to check out another review here. Thanks for watching.